Welcome back to High School Backups Podcast. My name is Jake. I am here with Kyle, and today we are doing NHL mock trades. As we head towards Kyle, the NHL trade deadline, as we're headed towards the NHL trade deadline, Kyle has thought up of some great mock trades that he thinks will work perfectly for players and teams. And we are going to show you in this lovely trade machine by Cat Friendly just how to go and what these trades should look like. Kyle, explain your
Yes.
thought process to me when you're making these trades.
So when I was looking at them, I wanted to think about which players I thought were the most likely to be traded. I know some of them I have agreed with other experts out in the field. Others I thought, I don't fully agree. But then I wanted to look at who has the best fit, who has the best cap space, who has the biggest need, and who is the biggest potential to try and buy a player at the trade deadline when looking forward towards the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Alrighty, then why don't you take me through the first trade that you want to do?
So the first one I was looking at was with the Arizona Coyotes. And then the player that I thought the Arizona Coyotes now, the Coyotes actually have quite a few players that they're probably going to move out from. They're definitely in the Connor Bedard sweepstakes.
Mm-hmm.
Who so the biggest player that I was thinking of them to trade away is Jacob Chikrin, defenseman from the Coyotes. And he has a decent contract that they need to move. I believe it's about 4 million. Um, and
The
with that,
effective cap hit is about 2 million.
wow. So they have him at a pretty low deal. So now that's probably what is left at this year. It's probably not what he signed for when it came down to it. So with Jacob Chikrin being about 2 million, that does give a little bit of leeway. But the team that I thought was going to be the best fit is a team that's kind of climbing in the Eastern Conference, and that is the Ottawa Senators. The
Oh.
Ottawa Senators.
Yep.
You got it, Jake. You
Yeah,
good
I'm,
there?
I'm following.
All right, perfect. So with the Ottawa Senators, the team they have a lot of pieces. Now with Jacob Chikrin, you're obviously going to need to give up a draft pick, most likely a second or a first round draft pick, probably what the asking price will be,
Do you
and
want
you'll
me to
have
give
to
them a
give up.
first or a second, Kyle?
If I'm going to be realistic, I'm going to say give him a first because that's probably what the Coyotes would ask for. So I'm going to
2023?
say yeah. Let's just do 2023 all across the board if they have a first round pick.
Okay.
I'm I'm pretty sure all the teams I'm doing or I'm buying are doing are gonna have first round picks here. So
Okay.
with the Ottawa Senators trading, they're gonna have to give up a prospect, and the prospects that I really think they're gonna give up. He's on the NHL roster, but I think he's just hasn't quite hit that stride, and I think and that player is gonna be Jake Sanderson. Jake Sanderson there, switching from Ottawa to Arizona, he would could become their clear number two defenseman, top two defenseman. With Arizona being on the way out, looking for a brand new rebuild, it's gonna be a best option for them to try and move on from Chikrin and to just find his replacement. I think Sanderson is gonna be that replacement.
Okay. On the screen, you can obviously see that Jacob Chikrin is moving from the Arizona Coyotes in exchange for Jake Sanderson and a 2023 first round pick from Ottawa.
And if you look at like a lot of experts like Elliot Friedman, he is high on the trade list for players that are expected to be moved on the trade deadline, which I believe is the beginning of March. I don't remember the exact date off the top of my head. Um, but I do. But Elliot Friedman, he is high on that list. So it's very exciting to see, and will be interesting to see which players are exactly moved, and like if we get these right. But if to me, the fit is pretty clear that the Senators need a better defenseman, and Chikrin really is a top four, top two defenseman in the league. Senators, he would be a great fit in Ottawa.
Okay, moving on to your second trade. Hit me with the
Sec-
details.
Second trade, it's going to be a team also in the Western Conference that is kind of struggling. They're not quite in the Connor Bedard sweepstakes because they're not quite that bad, but they're not good either. And that is going to be the San Jose Sharks. The San Jose Sharks have two people that I think are most likely to be moved this offseason. The first of which is their goalie, Jake Reimer. And with Jake Reimer, I'm looking at a team that is in desperate need, and I mean desperate need, of a backup goaltender. It happens to be my favorite team. The
Oh
New
my
York
lord.
Rangers are in desperate need of a replacement backup goalie. So with Jake Reimer being sent from the Sharks, I think moving him to the Rangers, and in response, the Rangers will probably have to give up a draft pick. I'm going to assume, since it's the trade deadline, that it will be a higher pick, so it'll either be the second or third. For the sake of this video, let's assume it is the second, because I don't think they have a third.
They have
Because they'd be
Colorado's third, and they have
okay.
two first. They have their own in Dallas's.
So they don't have a second then, so
They
that
do.
means they would. Oh, they do have a second. Okay,
Yeah, they have a
so
second.
I'm going to assume that they are going to trade that second away as a part of this deal and their current backup, Yaroslav Halak. I think when it comes to trades, asking prices do tend to be a little bit high, especially around the trade deadline. Do I think a second is fair value for Jake Reimer? I think it's a little high, if I'm being honest. But when you're looking at desperation and what the Rangers need, they really need a better backup goalie, especially as it gets closer to the playoffs. Yaroslav Halak is not it, and Reimer is definitely going to be shopped around. So I could definitely see Reimer being sent to the Rangers.
Okay, as you can see, just to recap, you've got Reimer being moved to the Rangers for Halak and a 2023 second round pick.
Sticking with the Sharks, I do think they are also going to move on from one of their star forwards. Timo Meyer is definitely someone who you can buy at the trade deadline and hope to extend, as he is a potential free agent this offseason. So with Timo Meyer, I think it's going to be going to another Eastern Conference team in the New Jersey Devils. I would absolutely hate this trade because I would be sending to the Rangers' rival. I would hate it with a burning passion, but it's the biggest fits because the Devils really need a better winger, and Timo Meyer fits that bill. Devils are going to have to give up a high piece easily of their current 2023 first round pick. I don't think any other draft pick would be even remotely able to be sent. The Devils have to give up a first round pick.
Mm-hmm.
I also think the Devils have to give up a third round pick this year, whether it's this year or next year. Jake, I'll let you be in charge of
It's going to
picking
have
which
to be a
one.
2024. They don't have a third round pick this year.
All right, so it's 2024 for 2024 third round pick, and I also think they're going to need to give up a prospect. I'm not exactly sure of their prospect pool off the top of my head, so Jake, pick one that you think.
Well, actually, it's going to have to come down to the cap space because the Devils would have to make up 4.7 million in cap.
4.7. So if you're thinking
So
of
your
that, then
candidates are Jesper Bratt, Palat,
Hazelwood.
Heischer, Hughes, and Hamilton.
What is Thomas Tatar's cap space?
4.5.
So if they trade that and the Sharks retain like 20% of that salary, that
Then it
should
would
work,
work.
right?
So
Yeah, all
yep,
right. So let's do
Tatar
that.
first and a third.
Yep. So we'll do Tatar first and a third, and for Timo Meyer.
Okay, makes a lot of
I
sense to me.
Devils fans should definitely be happy with that trade. That's a clear upgrade there, and that will definitely Devils. I believe have won 6 of their last 7, if I remember correctly, as of recording of this video. So Devils are back to their winning ways. So including Timo Meyer would definitely help them.
Just to show you the stats here, in 47 games, Timo Meyer has 27 goals, 20 assists, obviously a total of 47 points. Well, Thomas Tatar has a total of 27 points with 10 goals and 17 assists. So, clear upgrade for the Devils.
Exactly. And the Sharks definitely aren't looking for the player to replace Timo Meyer with Thomas Tatar right away. That's definitely someone they would replace in the draft.
I
With
was
one
gonna
of those
say they're
players.
looking for picks to be. They're looking to rebuild at this point. This is how they're gonna go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right.
Moving on to the
Next
fourth.
next team. I think it's another you'll see a trend here throughout this video that it's Western Conference teams on the rebuild and Eastern Conference teams on the rise. So this
Like any of
trade,
them are beating the Bruins anyway.
they're not going to be, only because when I was looking at it, I couldn't get the cap to work. So I
No,
was
I'm saying
doing
like
this.
any of these teams, even well buying, aren't going to beat the Bruins, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, I
They
see
can
what you're
try their
saying.
hardest. They're not going to do it.
Bruins are going to have the President's Trophy curse anyway, so it's fine.
All right, hit me with the
Um,
fourth. Give me it. What's the
the
trade?
fourth one is going to be from the Vancouver Canucks. Now,
Of
there's two
course.
people. There are two people on this list that people are talking about moving. One of which is Bo Horvat, who I believe is not going to be traded. Bo Horvat is having the best season of his career. He is having an absolute career season,
And I can tell you
and
right now that Nick is disagreeing with you.
I know he is. He said it in the chat, but that is fine. Nick can disagree all he wants.
Well, he's on a 1-year deal at this point, so they either have to re-sign him or move him. I think that's the whole.
Correct.
That's the problem.
And that is the problem, but I don't see why the Canucks would. Bo Horvat is their captain. He's having a career year. If anything, keep him to at least try and build around him. If they trade him, sure, you'll be able to trade him. A team would love him. But from the Canucks standpoint, he is your captain and he's having a career year. They've already offered him multiple deals within the past year that Bo Horvat itself is rejecting. So I still think coming up in the trade deadline, they have a chance to offer him contract, and I just don't see him being moved by the deadline. I do, however, see Brock Besser being moved from the Canucks, and another winger out there in the Western Conference who I think the Canucks are just not doing well this year. They have a whole lot of struggles. Brock Besser is a top top six forward in the league, easily. Top six line forward in the league. And when you think about his fit, I'm looking at a team that's on the up and coming, not necessarily going to contend for the Stanley Cup this year, but easily could in the next 2 to 3 years. And the team that I'm looking at is the Detroit Red Wings. The Detroit Red Wings would have to give up a first round pick, 100%, no ifs, ands, or buts. And they're going to have to give up a prospect easily. Now, I'm not sure what the cap would be like for Detroit.
It's fine.
All right, so they even have the cap space to make it work, which is even better. So, right now, as it stands, I'm going to give Brock Besser from the Canucks to the Devils for a first round pick and a prospect.
Okay, which prospect?
You pick, Jake. I don't know their prospect pool.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm gonna go
I
with
don't know, Jake.
Pontus Andreasen. We're gonna go with that one. He's in the AHL
Sure.
right now. That's where we're
That
going.
works. I don't know their prospect pool. The Canucks can figure that part out on their end. I'm just here for the video content.
Oh my
Listen.
lord. All right. All right.
Listen, I don't know the Red Wings prospect pool. I don't. I know just a couple teams' prospect pools, and the Red Wings are not one of them.
Okay. And honestly, I know that we're definitely going to have to address Jonathan Toews from the Blackhawks as well. I'm almost positive we're going to have to.
And lucky for you, Jake, he is the next one on my list.
And we already did Reimer and Bo Horvat. So Jonathan Toews, let's hit that.
Jonathan Toews is probably the hardest one to make work because he carries a cap hit of $10.5 million.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Try moving that around. Now, there is not a team that can really make that work that is in the playoff picture. Jonathan Toews, I'm pretty sure, has a no moving clause, so he's going to want to be moved to a team that can contend. Jonathan Toews already has 3 Stanley Cups to his that his name is on. He's going to want as many more as possible for before he retires. Now, a team that I think is a great fit for him and that would work well for both parties is the Carolina Hurricanes.
Okay, what would they have to move?
They would easily have to move 2 first-round picks.
Okay, I'm going to go 2023 and 2025.
That works for me. I don't think there's any real negotiation room that the Hurricanes would give up. Like the Hurricanes may be able to negotiate only 1 first-round pick because Toews has suffered with injuries the past couple of years, and he's getting old.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give him a 2023 first and the Flyers second round next year because the Flyers aren't good, and that'll be a high second round pick.
That works for me. I think that's fair negotiation right in the middle.
Because at Jonathan Taze's age, I don't think he's worth 2 first-round picks, even to a contender. And I think a high second might be a better move for at least the Hurricanes in that situation.
Yes, but when you think about who Jonathan Taze is and
I
the
know who.
leadership that he
Obviously,
brings,
I know Jonathan Taze is a great
no,
hockey
I'm
player.
not. Yes, I know that, but I'm just saying, like when you think about all of that, the 2 first-round picks, I don't think is an obnoxious ask. But the Hurricanes are going to have to give up someone substantial to make the cap work.
And sorting by their caps, they have Sebastian Aho at 8.4, Andrei Shekhinov at 7.75, Max Pacioretty at 7, Jordan Stahl at 6. I'm not even going to try to pronounce Tievu's last name at 5.4. Jakob Slavin at 5.3, Brent Burns at 5.28, Brady Skye at 5.25. They actually have a lot of players they could move on these that aren't necessarily like
keep going. I haven't heard the player yet that I think they're gonna move.
Jesperi at 4.82, Frederick Anderson at 4.5, Jake Gardner at 4.
There it is.
You want Jake?
There it is.
You want Jake
Gardner? The reason I think Jake Gardner is going to get moved is because that cap hit is pretty large, but the Blackhawks are definitely in the Connor Bedard sweepstakes. So Jake Gardner isn't going to sway the Neil any further for them to lose out on getting the first overall pick. But it makes the cap work, especially in this situation.
Okay, there you have it. Are there any more trades that you have for us today, Kyle?
The only other one I was going to bring up, I don't think this one's plausible, only because he is going to be a free agent, I believe, at the end in the summer, is that's Patrick Kane. He has been floated around as a potential trade target, and I could see it just with him being a potential free agent. I think because he has a no movement clause, I think he's more likely going to wait till the end of the year before leaving the Blackhawks.
That would make a lot of sense.
And that he's just going to be a free agent at the end of the year. I think that's the more likely scenario. However, I wouldn't be entirely surprised if he's traded.
He's also got a cap hit of $10.5 million. Yeah. Dear Lord.
It's going to be another situation with Taze and the Hurricanes there. I think it would probably be either Dallas Stars or Florida Panthers who invest in that. Because they're both teams that are right there fighting for it. But Patrick Kane, I think, is more likely to be a free agent than a trade.
That is fair enough. Well, Kyle, thank you very much for your NHL mock trades. I hope everybody enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell for the notifications if you enjoyed the video. Make sure to go like and follow all our social medias, High School Backups at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And with that, peace out.